person that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be a good idea, and they're not very expensive.
Yeah, I could probably get them on Amazon really cheap.
Yep. So we'll go over that, which, like I said, we already talked about, but we'll talk about your role specifically. And then we can go up to whichever floor, and we can walk through kind of a mini drill of what we would do, so that you guys can have a plan in place and kind of walk through it. Having somebody talk you through it is different than actually walking through it and doing it. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about fire extinguishers. I'm going to give you an overview first, and then we will actually go and practice fire extinguishers. So I have a little PowerPoint that I just printed out, so you guys can take it back with you.
Awesome.
All right, and then you guys can ask any questions that you want. But this is a really important thing that you guys are doing, just because you do have a pretty good population here of people that wouldn't want or cannot escape safely if there was a fire. And truthfully, we talked about your building already and how safe it is with your sprinkler systems. And so the chances of you having a major fire where everybody'd have to evacuate is pretty much slim to none, unless there was an explosion, which what's the likelihood of that happening?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the thing that probably concerns me the most would be like an earthquake.
yes, and so so calling it a fire, fire plan, I would call it an emergency plan.
Yeah,
So,
we're calling it an emergency evacuation plan.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So even in an earthquake, not everybody's going to want to escape. If the building is still standing and it's not crumbling, you're safer here than out there.
Right.
And this is a new building, and Carl talked about how it was built, and it is built to the new standards, and earthquake is part of that standards. So chances are this building is going to be standing, and maybe everything around it may not be. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing. So that's a resting way for you guys to rest assured that you're going to be sitting pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're sitting here, making sure you have the supplies you need. That's another,
yes,
another whole topic. But I can actually send you guys some information on that too, just so that you can start thinking about that. It's just FEMA handouts. All right, so as a floor warden, if that's what you guys decide to
that's awesome. I love that
call
name.
yourself,
I love that name.
You're going to be responsible for helping be like a communication tool on your floor. So that might mean that you're walking by knocking on doors. That's going to be communicating with the fire department who's sheltering in place. It's also going to mean kind of keeping your ear out when you know somebody who might be sheltering in place is in the hospital, not there today, or they're traveling out of for the summer to visit their sister,
We've got that dot system going on where pink dots where people have elected to shelter in place have pink dots on them. Okay. And I tried to get them to have a green dot that if you're on vacation or if you are not in the building, you can put a green dot on your door, and that's you can do it yourself. I'll give you a bunch of green dots. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. But they chose not to do that because they just didn't feel safe letting people know that they weren't home. Oh. They felt like they could have somebody break in or something like that, which
that makes sense.
It makes sense that they would worry about that, but in this kind of an
environment
and here, it's like, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Well, usually neighbors know when their neighbors aren't home, for the most part. Yeah. So, I mean, green dot or not. Yeah. So I guess just be kind of aware, and if they're not there, they're not there, and the fire department figures it out. But they're going to be starting their search when they have smoke or fire or emergency nearest the incident, and then they kind of fan out from there. So the people that are in the most imminent danger. We just want you guys as floor wardens to know first and foremost that you are never to put your own personal safety at risk. So if there's danger, you're not going to run to the danger to try to help people. So that's not your job. You don't have the right equipment for that. So our firefighters are wearing, protective clothing and masks and oxygen, and they have special tools to find people. And we don't want you to put your own safety at risk, because I think we talked about how dangerous the smoke is. And just breathing in that smoke within 15 or 20 steps, it's going to overcome you, and you're going to be no help to anyone. So your job is to do what you can within your own safety.
You left out one very important point,
What's that?
that your firefighters are in much better shape.
I don't know. Yes, they are.
That's just judging from my home.
And they're a lot cuter too, huh?
Well, that wouldn't take much.
Yes, but you're right, because they practice for this stuff, and so they train constantly, because you always have to be ready, and you have to be, you have to be physically fit, and
Now, how many people here could run up the stairs or steps in the Washington building downtown?
Oh, yeah,
Seattle?
right.
Oh, yeah.
I ran up 5 steps at our 5 floors at our last one with the firemen.
Yeah.
By the time I got up to the top, I couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Well, I would be lucky if I made it 1 floor and I'd have to take a break.
One thing that I wanted to ask you, Shanri, is my plan for our floor wardens was to, if the fire is not on your floor, we have a system. The pink dots on the by the doors are the people that are sheltering in place. You need to be able to go to those people, knock on their door, talk to them through the door, don't open the door.
Right.
And tell them, don't open your door, just talk to me.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. And if they open the door, say, just close your door, stay
Yep.
inside, we'll let you know when
Yep.
it's all clear.
So, and if the fire is on their floor, then they probably should just leave and let the people, I'm not sure, you tell me what they should
So
do.
if the fire is on their floor, as long as it's not in their specific apartment, people should still shelter in place.
Yes.
Because if they go out into the hall filled with smoke, they're going to be overcome,
Yes.
and then it's going to start being like a pile of people that no one can see because the smoke is filled. The walls between the apartments have about a 45-minute fire wall. So it would take 45 minutes of a burning hot fire to move from one apartment to the next. So you have time, and it's not
every
going to take
single
us.
apartment, every room in the apartment has sprinkler heads.
Yep. And so your biggest risk for this whole building is smoke. It's not the fire we're afraid of, because the sprinkler is going to take care of that. It's all the smoke. That's what people are overcome with. If you have any kind of somebody with respiratory distress or any kind of respiratory illness, asthma, COPD, any of that, it's going to be even worse. And so smoke is really what we're trying to keep people out of and away from. So keeping your door closed.
That's interesting.
And not going out into the hallway. As a floor warden, if you see an apartment door open and you see smoke rolling out, and the smoke hasn't yet filled the whole entire corridor, you can take a moment to close the door as you're passing by, but don't backtrack to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we don't want you running towards the fire.
Right.
We want you moving away from the fire, and if you happen to be passing that door, close it. We can trap the smoke.
So if the fire is on your floor and you see people out in the hall, what do you do?
Tell them to go back into their
Yep.
apartment.
So tell them to go back in their apartment, close the door. If people are already moving towards the stairwell, that's a different conversation. If they're going towards the stairwell with our walker, then when they get into the stairwell, they're just going to stand up against the wall and wait. We don't want them trying to navigate the stairs. Your stairwell is actually rated for almost 3 hours. So stairwells are they're like a fireproof box, but they can get trapped with smoke if somebody props them open. Also, your stairwells are reinforced, so if you had an earthquake and the building was crumbling, you would actually be safer in the stairwell than you would be, if the building started to really crumble, which likely not to happen. But the stairwell is like a safe zone. We wouldn't want people trying to navigate the stairs if they're in.
We already had an incident the last time where somebody was trying to navigate the stairs with a walker, and 2 people were helping her down, and one of them fell down the stairs.
Yeah. That's
And
very,
it wasn't the person that needed the help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very common.
Yeah.
So that's why we tell people, you know, if you do a fire drill, you practice your own fire drill, stay within your limits of what you can do. That's why sheltering in place, we practice that just as much. Let's think about, we're going to shelter in place. We're going to grab our earplugs. We're going to put a towel under the crack of the door. That's our emergency plan, you know. And then for people that are trying to escape, you know, down the stairwell, if you are not great mobility wise, you just stand in the stairwell up against the walls. You're not blocking anyone else, and wait for rescue. Chances are the fire department's going to come in, clear it, and say, you can go ahead and go back to your apartment now. They're not going to actually help get you out, because 9 times out of 10, it's not even necessary to actually get out.
Right.
If
So-
you encounter a feisty person with a walker who's insisting on trying to get down the stairs,
Yeah.
should you try and restrain them from getting down the stairs?
No, that's their personal choice, and you know that could cause more harm because you guys could both end up falling down the stairs. So you know, being as firm as you can to try to
In
convince
that
them
kind
to
of
be
a
number
situation,
one.
I know exactly who you're talking about. In that kind of a situation, what you might want to say to that person is, I understand that you want to evacuate. Right now, you're out of your apartment with a walker, you can't get down the stairs on your own. I cannot help you down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay? So if the safest place for you to be is in the stairwell.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to the stairwell and wait, you can even sit down on the stairs if you want. Or she has a walker she can sit on.
Yeah.
But stay in the stairwell, do not try and evacuate. And all of our floor monitors, I want you guys to have earplugs, plenty of earplugs in your go bags, because people are not going to be able to find the earplugs that we gave them. And if they are incensed about the noise, give them a pair of earplugs.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. So, and the other thing, you know, a lot of times we can evacuate people through the elevator. You know, if the fire's on the 2nd floor and
You
it's
guys
not
have the
near
capability of
elevator, we
turning
can
the elevator
bypass
back
that
on.
floor. And
Yeah.
so it's just an unnecessary, you know, evacuation.
Right.
And that could be life-changing for them. So maybe it was a simple cooking fire that created some smoke. They decided that they were going to try to evacuate down the stairwell, and they fell and broke a hip, and they ended up having to go into the hospital, and it's a sentinel event for them. It's life-changing, and they never are able to come back to their independent living. And it was just a cooking fire that if they had stayed in their apartment and just waited it out, they likely would have never even had to leave their apartment. So it can be life-changing for something that's really minor. So we want to rewire their brains and, you know, really promote shelter in place. And the fire department appreciates it so much more, because we get people jamming up the hallways and the stairwells. And if they have to be running up the stairwell with hoses to actually put out a fire that a fire sprinkler didn't take care of, they're going to be running into people coming down, and they're not going to be able to get up as fast. It's going to slow their ability to get to the fire. So it's just, they would prefer shelter in place. So, and you guys are set up in a way that, you know, your building is
It's a perfect building
for sheltering in place. Yeah. The only annoyance is how loud the alarms are. So that is an annoyance, but the earplugs actually do.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing for people of the age that people are that live here is that for most of their lives, they have known. We practiced as kids, we practiced escape routes in our house if there was a fire.
And at school, you
And
had a fire drill.
school, you
went
had fire
outside.
drill, you got out of the school. So it's ingrained in us to get out.
Yeah.
And it's hard to realize that things have changed.
Yeah.
And they fixed all that stuff, so you don't have to get out.
Yeah.
And then you also get, at our age, not a lot going on in your life, so you have a grave curiosity.
I think that's any age.
Exactly.
Well, it's more so with
Yeah.
the elderly.
Yeah.
Simply because they just,
Some kind of excitement.
it's excitement, and they want to see what's going on. They want to be in the know, you know, they got to see what's going on. And that
Yeah.
really draws people out of their apartment more than anything.
Yeah.
And the thing that they need to remember is if they come out of their apartment, they really should evacuate. They shouldn't go back in.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
another.
And especially if you've made it all the way out here.
Yeah.
We definitely don't want that.
No, I had one try to get back in, and I told her, no,
Yeah.
you're not coming into a burning building.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and shelter in place is great if you have pets too, because we definitely don't want you evacuating with your pets. We had a situation at Mountlake Terrace Plaza where the woman had a little Pomeranian on a leash and they were doing a fire drill and it created havoc.
Yeah.
Because the alarm was loud, the dog was scared, it was jetting back and forth, and people carrying their cat out and the cats are scared.
clawing
And then if they get loose,
then you
Then
have
they're
a whole
gone.
other, then you have a whole other thing.
yeah, so it's like staying with your pets and sheltering in place is your best bet.
And suppose we have a meeting, get together or anything, suppose we are all here.
Yeah.
And the alarm goes, what should we do?
Don't
Out.
go back, just go out.
Go, that's what we did last time.
So
Yep.
nearest exit, because you're not in your own place, so don't run upstairs to get your go bag.
No,
For your
but we can
keys.
stay here, we can remain here, or we have to get out?
You know, you're close here, so you can get out, but don't congregate in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of make sure you guys are moving away. You
Well,
guys would get several fire engines here.
Yeah, that's one
likely.
thing that we have tried, we tried to do in our last one, is I tried to get people to go down to the Easy Mart parking lot.
Yep.
For two reasons. One, to get the fire department in here, to allow them space to get in here.
Yeah.
The other is if there actually was a really bad fire, windows explode.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna have
Be
glass
underneath
showered
it.
down on you.
Yeah. We actually had a condo in Edmonds. The woman wasn't home when the fire started, and it wasn't sprinklered. It was an older building built in the 60s. But that's how people were alerted to the fire, because she didn't have any smoke alarms, is when the window actually broke free. And somebody was walking by and heard it and then saw the smoke.
Yeah,
So-
I had a fire in the house, when I lived in the house, we had a fire in the house that behind us. They were quite close to us, our yards were really small, and, there are a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Summertime, trees are dry,
Yeah.
and I saw smoke and flames. And then I went out on my deck to see what was going on, and turned around and looked like this, and the windows just went kaboom, and they exploded. The glass went, I swear to God, 100 feet
Yeah.
out, and it just exploded.
And then they get a whoosh of oxygen.
Yes,
and, the
yeah,
fire
and
just-
then the fire just went whoosh out the windows and up the side of the building, and
it's
you know,
scary.
it is really scary.
And fire
you know.
moves really fast.
And I was the first one that called the fire department. You know, as I saw the smoke, and I got on my phone right away to the fire department, but then I went out on my deck to see what was going on.
Yeah.
The windows exploded.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
you know, it takes of course in this building the fire department wouldn't have that issue because you have everything's right here.
Yeah.
But in a house fire, they have to find the nearest hydrant.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
had
yeah.
trouble finding it.
Yeah.
And you
We
know,
have that issue a lot. They train for it though.
Yeah.
They know the areas that they have.
well, some of the
hydrant
remote
issues.
areas though, which is what mine was, is it was out in, it wasn't in the city, it was in the county.
Yeah.
And a little bit more remote, and they don't come out there, a volunteer fire department.
Oh yeah. So the fire gets a good chance to really get burning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have fire codes and laws about family buildings like this, because you guys do have the potential with so many people living under one condensed area for a huge loss of life. And so that's why we have fire codes that mandate our fire alarm systems that you have to have for a certain occupancy, the sprinklers that you have to have, and the amount of water pressure that comes out of those to put out the fire, and the smoke alarms that you have, the fire alarms in the hallway and the smoke alarms you have in your individual units. And that all those fire codes have just really reduced the loss of life, and your chances here of having something significant other than an earthquake, but a fire that would cause major damage, death, or injury is very low. The only injuries it's going to cause are from those that are trying to escape when they probably should shelter in place. So
Yeah, what what I would like to do for the people that live here is maybe put on some sort of a demonstration and have people pretend like they're overcome by, you know, like put a cone where the fire is and have people coming out of their apartments and then, you know, 15 seconds later dropping to the ground because of the smoke. And then all of these people laying around, this is what happens when you come out of your apartment.
There's actually some videos.
Is
on
it really?
YouTube. Yeah, I
On
have
YouTube? Okay.
So there's some bad ones too.
Dave?
So
I wouldn't want a bad one.
No.
I would just want one that is a little bit more demonstrative of what happens.
it's got music and it talks. It has a person that talks over and talks about sheltering in place. So I will find it.
Awesome. Well, Dave should be able to find it. But yeah, if you've got a specific one.
Yeah, because we like to use our national, you know,
right.
Partners and make sure that we're using ones that are approved. And
That's
not just
awesome. I
anything.
would love that. I would love that.
Okay.
You know, because that if we have,
And you guys could show it down here.
Yeah, we can have a regular meeting. Well, actually, we could even go into the theater room and show it where people are comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, instead of doing it in here and showing it several times in a week, and have one floor come down and do it, and another floor come down and do it. Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah, I would love to do that.
That's a good idea.
I think it's important that we retrain our people.
Yeah. And visually, I think if people see it,
Yes,
it's
exactly.
more of an
Exactly, because they're not going to believe what you're saying.
Well, and it actually shows a side by side of what happens in a fire with the door open versus the door closed.
Good.
And it shows how the room where people are closed in, it's virtually untouched, and you can't even tell there was a fire next door. So that's in there as well. So that can give people a peace of mind.
That would be super.
Okay.
I would love that.
Okay. We'll send that.
Okay.
So do we want to go walk a floor?
Yeah, let's
and
just
then,
go up to the second floor.
Okay, go up to the second floor, and then we'll come back here and we'll do fire extinguisher overview.
Can all of you
and
guys
then we'll
walk
do
up the stairs?
That would be a problem. So you guys notice that if you look at all the places in your building where there are fire extinguishers, they're always going to be by an exit.
Okay.
Fire extinguishers are not meant to grab and go back and fight the fire. Fire extinguishers are meant for escape. So if your only exit is blocked by fire and it's a manageable fire, you use the fire extinguisher so that you can safely escape. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I just wanted to point that out since it's right here. So, all right, so we have the exit here, and then we have the exit around the corner there. Is there another?
There's an exit down the hall and this way.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So as a floor warden, you start wherever your apartment is that you're walking out of, right? So we wouldn't want
Okay,
you.
so let's take Dinah. She's down the hall.
Okay, let's start there.
There's actually 3 stairwells on every floor.
Okay.
The 5th floor is a little bit more difficult because you have the deck.
Okay.
So there's
Oh, I
actually
remember
only,
the deck.
there's actually only 1 stairwell besides the deck. Okay. Before you get out to the deck.
Okay.
Which is perfectly safe to get out on the deck unless the
And the
fire
deck
is on the deck.
yeah, the deck is a great place to kind of shelter.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Dinah, and then we have another person.
Yeah, Kathy's over by the stairwell.
Okay, so you're which way?
This is hers, and Kathy's all the way down the hall, right next to the stairwell.
That's a short extinguisher right there.
So if the fire is anywhere in this area here, she's gonna have the most
I don't
problem
worry, you
getting
can
to
get
it.
over my head easy.
I would go across to CR2. I could go in there.
Well, you would be able to get out, but what I'm talking about is as a floor warden, if the fire is anywhere in this area, not down there or on the other side of the building,
Right.
you're gonna have trouble helping anybody. You're gonna have trouble checking on anybody.
Out CR2, and I'm in that hallway where I was supposed to be.
Okay,
That would be like
Okay.
this way, just one door open and go.
I see what you're saying. Yes, you could go through the social room and then get past, if it's in this hallway,
Right.
you can go through the social room and get past the fire.
Yes, and so can Dinah if it's right.
Right, she can too because she's on the courtyard. She can get out there as well.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh yeah, you have the courtyard.
yes.
Yeah, right outside my door.
Yeah, these apartments in this
I think we walked
square.
outside when you
Yeah,
came in.
Okay.
these apartments that are in this square here are on the courtyard.
Okay. So it'd be important as a floor warden when you
Right.
exit your apartment to look both ways and figure
Okay.
out where's the danger and not go towards it, go away from it.
Okay, okay.
And you're just gonna be keeping a mental note of where that, I mean, they're gonna know when the alarm goes off.
Right.
But when, cause whatever alarm goes off, that gets sent to a monitoring station, and they'll be able to pinpoint where that first alarm activated.
Oh,
But we
okay.
don't want you running towards the fire or smoke.
Right.
So that's gonna determine your pathway of how you're gonna start alerting people. So if you exit and you see smoke here, then your path is that
That way. Oh.
Okay? If you look down here and you see smoke down there, your path has to go that way. And that might mean that there are gonna be some people that are on the other side of the smoke going down the stairs that you're not
Right,
gonna
be
have
able to
control
check.
of.
Right.
But you're gonna have your list of people that are sheltering in place.
Okay.
And you're gonna be able to visually see on that list who's
Right.
also escaped from your area. So that will be communicated back
Okay,
to
okay.
the fire department.
Now, would we know as hall monitors what floor this is gonna be on?
What do
That
you?
alarm goes
Oh,
off.
you won't
No, we're not gonna know. We're not
You
gonna
won't
know.
know. The fire department will know before they get here, but you won't know. So, if,
It's a matter of visually seeing
Visual,
it.
yeah.
Whatever floor it's on, when they see it, walkie-talkie, hey, it's on the 5th floor,
Yeah.
or hey, it's on the 3rd floor, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you hear that, it's on the 5th floor, and you're here on the 2nd floor, then as a floor warden, you guys are gonna start knocking on doors and just saying, it's on the 5th floor, shelter in place.
Yep.
It's on the 5th floor, shelter in place,
Oh,
and keep moving
okay,
on.
okay.
If there are people that start milling out in the hallway, you can say, it's on the 5th floor, you're welcome to go back in your apartment and shelter in place.
Oh, okay.
If they absolutely want to start exiting, then you can move them towards the stairwell.
There.
Yeah. And then just try to
Hi,
be
Karen.
really firm with those that you might see navigating down the hallway with a walker or wheelchair or on oxygen. You're gonna be safest sheltering in place.
Okay.
Close your door, keep it closed, and we'll let you know when it's all clear.
Oh, okay.
So that will be the important stuff. And you guys have the walkie-talkies, that's gonna help you make your decisions better. Otherwise, you're gonna be wondering where the fire is.
Right,
If it's,
right.
the smoke is moving towards you, and you can't see it yet. So
Right.
walkie-talkies will be huge, that you can talk to each other. So if it was on the 5th floor, essentially all the other floors could just shelter in place.
Okay.
And that would be what would be safest. The 5th floor then, whoever the floor wardens are there, they make decisions based on where they see the danger. Do I go left or right out of my apartment? I go away from the danger. And once you start knocking on doors and you can radio to of your other floor wardens to let them know that you cleared from, 222 on down to
Okay.
whatever, what way is this, south stairwell?
Yeah,
Yes, right,
yeah.
I get mine.
Yeah, this
Direction
building is
out.
absolutely square.
Okay.
South, north, east.
So you can
east and
say,
west.
I've cleared rooms, 222 to the south
Yeah,
stairwell.
okay.
And 5 people are sheltering in place.
Okay.
And that'll be good information for everybody else to know, because somebody's gonna be at the front meeting the fire department when they get there.
Okay.
Yep. So, but again, if it's not on your floor, there's really no reason why anybody on that floor should be sheltering in place. Or should be escaping. Sorry, rewind, should be escaping, and they should all be sheltering in place.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That was a trick question.
that was a trick.
Right.
I was just seeing if you guys were actually
You were just
listening
trying
to
to
me.
say
or
you were
not.
paying attention.
Yeah. Do you wanna walk down to your door and just kind of see, just so we can get a bigger lay of the land?
So I think what we'll do when we start practicing with our floor wardens is we're gonna put a cone out where the fire is, and then you guys need to practice your route. We'll do it on each floor, just two of you at a time on each floor. And we'll practice it so that you know exactly what you're doing. Just like the residents need to get their evacuation route pressed into their mind. Right. It's really important that you guys do as well, because when there's an emergency, the first thing to go is the brain.
Right.
Okay, so you're right here. All right. And then this is the stairwell. And that goes out, you said?
That goes outside.
Outside, okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. And so if you were to look down the hall here and you didn't see smoke, then you could start clearing these rooms. Once you hit the corner though, if you saw smoke, you're gonna backtrack out.
Okay, so what she's talking about is she's on the courtyard, she has a door that can go out.
And with no stairs, right?
No stairs.
So you.
Well, there are
yeah,
stairs,
there are
there are
stairs
stairs
to
to
get
get out, all the way out. And she's gonna go all the way out.
across with
Okay.
no stairs.
But there is a social room that is accessible, and that's what she's talking about. If
Okay.
the fire is here, she can still reach people on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
By going through the social room and then out. And
Okay.
if she were to open that door, she should look both ways.
Right.
And make sure that the fire is not there, and if it is there, then she just needs to
Yeah,
evacuate,
close the
period.
door and back.
So
Yeah.
we both can do that. if-
Yes, both of you could do that because your proximity is really
Right.
close and.
Right.
And your courtyard, is it surrounded by windows?
Yes.
Yes.
So that
It's
would-
surrounded by windows.
Yeah, so that would not
5
be a safe
floors up.
place to kind of hang out,
No.
because depending on where the fire is, that could be broken.
Yep.
And there's
Coming
stairs
down.
with railing that, yeah, so.
Okay,
Yeah, and then they could clear out to the street, actually.
all right.
Maybe she can have a look at it, like from the community room.
Yes, we could go into the
Okay.
community room and look at the.
And
what
then
she's
these are
talking
really
about.
important, this is faster and better than calling 911.
Yeah.
Call 911 too, but as soon as you pull this, that activates puts a lot of things in motion. So, because it gives the fire department some information about your building, okay, more than if you just call 911.
So if the alarm is going off, Kathy, you're closest to one of those, if the alarm is going off, you can come out your door and pull out.
Or if you see smoke and the alarm hasn't started yet.
Right,
So if we can activate, if somebody's got smoke rolling out from under their door and they don't really have a fire yet,
Okay.
you can pull that and that's gonna.
Question, they should see smoke, not smell smoke.
Right, yeah.
Because, you know, because somebody could burn toast
Yeah,
and
that's
go over
happened,
here and
right.
hit that
Yeah.
alarm. So I just wanted clarity.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
One of the biggest problems is when somebody has like a cooking fire in their apartment, when they leave the door open.
Yeah.
And that's what creates havoc. I think that's what.
Right.
Absolutely, that's how it happened,
So,
that's how the alarm went off.
Yeah.
Had he opened up his windows instead of his door,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it never would have set the alarm off.
So
Lesson learned, but very valued.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Well, we still give him a bad time about it.
Yeah, right.
We call him names, crispy. We send him recipes.
Oh my gosh.
Cajun chicken.
Forgotten chicken.
Love it. All right, let's go to David.
Smoky.
Probably for fifth floor, there's going to be some other issues because people are gonna wanna go out on the deck.
And she said that's a perfect place to go.
Yeah, that's because you won't be in the way of the fire.
And there's plenty of
And there's
fresh
no
air
windows.
and there's no windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get away from the windows.
Yeah.
And there are
Is this in your
stairwells.
mind, George?
Yeah, there's nothing else there.
Yeah.
You didn't get a note on your door? Okay, all right, that's okay. That's my fault. No, Frank and I are still working on our communication.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I just want to catch up here. Okay, let's say you're walking down the hall and there's smoke coming out from under that door. First thing you do is hit the fire alarm in here, right?
Yeah, and I would knock,
Knock.
just, you know.
Oh, no,
maybe
Not
they're-
open the door.
No, maybe they're sleeping and they don't know that there's smoke,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
knock, yell to somebody, hey, call, pull the alarm and
Just
just try to
Okay.
alert somebody, but I would knock and like I
Okay.
said, sometimes people fall asleep
Right.
when they're in the middle
Yeah.
of baking a pie.
Oh, definitely, right.
Are there, in our apartments, are there alarms that can get set off from smoke and fire in the apartment?
So yes.
Okay.
Those ones there should be set, I think.
Those are just our,
Individual.
kitty.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
They
people,
just don't activate, usually the
But there's
whole
nothing
alarm.
that's going to there's nothing in our apartments that's going to activate the big alarm.
Right.
That has to be out in the hall. That has
So
to
like
be out
if
in
you
the hall.
burn toast,
Yeah,
your smoke alarm in your apartment will go
Right.
off,
yeah,
but it will not activate the hall until the smoke moves out here.
yeah. So this is the social room that we're talking about, and you can access, through this way, there's a stairwell out that way. Through this way, there's a stairwell out that way. So you can get these people out if the fire is on that side.
Okay.
But like she said, her apartment is here on the corner, Kathy's is here on the corner, and then the other one is there on the inside corner.
right.
Okay.
So they can both get in here.
Okay.
And go this way to get, depending on where the fire is.
Yeah.
To get people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And likely by the time that starts being in motion, the fire department's gonna be here and be like, all right, just go ahead and evacuate, we got it. So it'll be really a short period of time, 5 to 7, 8 minutes before they're here and they completely take over.
Yeah.
And we'll just say, okay, thank you. And you can communicate with the battalion chief outside. And,
Yeah.
So,
And I can communicate with my people and say, hey, fire department's here, you guys can come out now.
Yep, perfect. So it's really a short, the key, and if the fire's on the second floor, but it's not near the elevator, then when they get in it, it'll go past the second floor, but it'll open on the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So they can actually evacuate people out that are on the other floors if need be.
Yeah.
So as long as the fire's not in that vicinity.
Yeah.
So.
This elevator, in the case of a power outage, is operated by our generator.
Oh, that's what that.
The number 2 is not. It is programmed to come down to the second floor, open up and lock.
Okay.
This one will work in the event of a power outage. As long as the lights are on down here, the elevator is working because our generator is on.
Okay.
Okay. In the case of a fire, both of these elevators, as soon as the alarm goes off, they fall to the first floor and open up and lock out. Yep.
Until the fire department.
Yep, until the fire department. Yeah. That's what that sign is for. In the event of a power outage, this elevator works.
Okay.
But in case of a fire, elevators are out of service.
Okay.
Yeah. So they should have actually made that sign a little
bigger. Yeah. Or put the 2 signs on the same side.
On the same
so.
side.
Yeah. Well,